What's going on, my good people? This your boy, Life Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action with North Carolina Central. This is going to be an interesting band to look at for their field shows. I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. Um, they had a unique season. I was able to get some of their season, so, there was a couple of field shows I did not grade. So I wanted to grade that for extra incentive on their record, okay? So if y'all like this type of content, please consider liking and sharing. Really helps your boy out a lot. This record is going to be going for the Meek tier list. I'm going to be posting a couple of days or so. Be looking out for that tier list. So if you want to be a part of this family, please consider liking up this video, being part of this family if y'all want to see that, okay? One thing I would say about this band, they definitely has some strengths and they has some weaknesses, but I can say that this band has been improving a lot. So that's one thing I would say. This band has definitely improved a lot in some aspects, but I'm very excited to see what they're going to do this for this video. Like I said, I got 3 things I haven't graded. So one's their homecoming, one's here for chapel. There's one, I think there's another field show they had, but we're grading that too. So I'm just excited all around just to see what we're going to get ourselves into. Okay? But again, let's get to it. Alright, so look to the cards next to me so you know we'll be grading. Okay? We're going to be grading entrance, songs, formation, dancers, and breakdown. Maximum points they can make in those categories is 25. I also have a creative department, which is 5. So altogether, they can make 30. Okay? If they're able to get perfect in all 5 categories besides creative, I would get a dub on their record. Okay? If they're not able to get a dub on their record, if we look into the creative department, they have a chance to redeem themselves. So if least they make a 27, they can get a dub on their record. So they got 2 chances to do it. Now, not all bands be able to get dubs on their record. Some bands do, some bands don't. But that's not me hating on either band or organization. Take this as honest critique, but this is not an official opinion. This is just my verdict of what I'm seeing and what I'm grading. You might see the field show completely different from me, but you clicked on this video for a reason. So, so this is my perspective on it, and that's what it is. So with that being said, man, I did enough rambling. Let's get into the action.
Of the Sound Machine. And before we get started, can we get an eagle run? Drum makers, the field is yours. Adjust your volume, turn up the bass, and the sound machine is in this place.
They're clean though, so far. 5 looks good, very clean.
Is the axis on which all drummers rotate. Ladies and
Looks
gentlemen,
very, very
make some
clean.
noise for the DOA drum line. And now, in the spirit of unity, we're going to bring on our audio friends to come and join in with our sound machine. So eagles and guardians alike, make some noise for you.
Oh, they wanted to hop in. Huh? That's cool.
Yeah. The name of the song is $1 Million Baby. When I'm looking at $1 million man on the field, give it up for the Maroons and the Carolina Blues. Look at the way they break it down. There are so many that try to imitate. But I can guarantee they're not like us.
It's like they're having fun.
Say UNC, NCCU. Feeling like money. You put on your Gucci and your hat. And what else? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the true sound of North Carolina. So whether you're eagle or guardian, this is the time for us to make some noise, celebrating the unity of the Maroons, Braves, and Carolina Blues.
That's pretty cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the NCCU sound machine and the UNC marching guardians. Let's hear it one more time for
All
you,
right.
NCCU.
Let's give that a grade. Alrighty. Entrance songs, formation. There was no dancers, but I'm gonna give them an exemption on that, simply because how that field show was structured. So they get an exemption on that. So let's give it a grade. Creativity was a 3. Everything else was a 5. Okay, so they end up getting a 28 and a perfect field show rating as well. So yes, that was nice. That was nice right there. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Giving them a dub on their name. That's what's up right there, man. One thing I like about it, it kind of reminded me when I was in the band. We did something in Lafayette. It was a band that was like, predominantly white. And then it was PWI, and we ended up doing the same thing with them when I was at Grambling. So they kind of bring back some nostalgia feels on that, but also it was just cool just to see the unity, you know. One thing I would say about it also is that the formations look good. They looked together. I know when I did look at some of their field shows, just them doing just a small drill like that, sometimes it wasn't together, but it was good to see it in full effect in this one. Breakdown was there. They had the energy, and it seemed like they was carrying, even though they was kind of congested in there. With everybody fitting in that tight formation, but it looked pretty good for what it was. Okay, so no complaints at all. Good stuff, man. Hey, they got a dub. That's nice. That's a good way to start this video. Alrighty. So this is them doing a halftime show. They didn't specify who they was going against, but I don't think this was Homecoming or anything. Homecoming is the last video we're going to be grading. But if y'all made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. Alrighty, let's get into it. That was nice. That was real nice. clink. Cut up woodwinds. I hear y'all. Sound very good. Like they got the energy too. They ain't halfway doing it. They putting that work in. Oh, it's cool. Alrighty, let's give that a grade. I want to get a top view of the band. Yeah, we'll take that. And creative, I'm gonna give them 2, but
Execution.
Yes, indeed. That was a perfect field show. Again, that was perfect. Fouls all the way around. This time, without no exception of an exemption. This time, I got a chance to appreciate the dancers and everything. It was good. Like, no complaints at all. They got a 27 on that too. So that was very entertaining for them. I think that was one of those you can play back and watch and have a good time watching it. One thing I like about it, it was consistent. It was consistent. They kept pushing. They wasn't halfway doing things either. Sometimes bands get in trouble when they just going through the motions. Especially when it comes down to marching. Sometimes they just, they feel like, yes, it's kind of like practice, but this is a performance, so that's when you need to be at your best. And they didn't showcase any of that. They really put their energy into it, especially when it came down to the breakdown. Like, people received the breakdown better because they had the energy. They wasn't just halfway out there doing it. So I really enjoyed it. We got one more to grade from this. Shout out to North Carolina Central. That was pretty awesome to watch. We got one more to grade. This is their homecoming. So I'm excited to see what to expect out of this. Now, granted, from what I'm looking at, this looks like it's 6 minutes and 41 seconds long. So this is a shorter field show than what we saw last time. So I don't know what to expect out of this, but let's see what we're going to get. So, right now they got 4 wins and 2 losses, so they doing pretty good. 4 wins and 2 losses, so that's not bad since they've been doing this incentive. So, but let's see where they make it decisive 5-2. We gonna get there and see. All right. So again, if y'all like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribe. It means so much to me. All right, I did enough rambling. Let's get to the action.
Need your phone, or you about to do a wide shot? You want me to do a wide shot with it while you taking pictures?
Ladies and gentlemen, you enjoy your home. And now, it's time for the sound machine. So can I get an eagle cry?
I'm not a big fan of this lettering. That C is, those C's are extra long. I get what they're trying to do, but it looks kind of spotted with all these holes on the field. With the C, it's just a lettering issue for me. Got their legs up. That's one thing I will say. Some people get lazy and follow the leader drill. let's get that a grade. I appreciate this top view. Was pretty good. Was very, very good. Creative, I'm gonna give them a 2. Entrance a 5, songs 5, formations 5, dancers 5, breakdowners a 5. They end up getting 27 again. Another perfect field show, man. That's really good. 3 perfect field shows back to back. That's not bad at all, man. They kept it consistent. They had the energy. They did what they were supposed to do. They handled business. If I was to give some critique, though, if you know there's some holes on the field, I know you can't do anything. People can be sick or whatnot, but I'm just like, dog, you know, that lettering has to be a little different. Because you can really tell that it was just some missing spots in there. And I'll be like, okay. At one point, you know that y'all was trying to spell a C, but then it's just like, you know, one of the C's just looked like it was going through some things. So, but besides that, though, it was pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, no complaints at all, pretty much, for the majority. I think, you know, like I said in the last one, that they really put that energy in for this, you know, and they did not hold back. And I think that's one thing that carried them on into this, they hit it just well. All right, no true complaints at all, you know. So here it is. There's another dub for them, ladies and gentlemen. There's another dub. You know, with this being said, you know, they had a great record. So they got 5 wins and 2 losses for their season. So this is their official record too. Okay, 5 wins and 2 losses. Not bad. Not bad at all for a season. You know, they might have won against some tough Giants, but but you know, they definitely shook back from those 2 Giants too. Those Giants really humbled them and got them right too, because they went against Norfolk, and you know, I think North Carolina Central was one of the bands that was close to punching Norfolk this season. Me be honest with you, because they were going toe to toe with them. Now, when they went against NCAT, that was a little tougher. That was a little tougher. You know, other bands, they had that Morgan State's up there. They was toe to toe with them. So Morgan State was like not too behind from them. But you know, definitely was an interesting season to watch from them. But you know, they definitely had some hit and misses, but they got it. You know, and I like I said, I really enjoyed watching this band. Like, you know, they really put that work in this season, and you know, I was just blessed to see them this season. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all like this type of content, please consider liking and subscribing. Means so much to me. Alright, so this is the last band I have to grade in the week. So with that being said, after I get this graded up, I'll be ready to do that meat tier list. So be looking out for that content, man. So that meat tier list is right around the corner, and you know, I'm trying to get all this stuff in before, you know, August hit. You know, because usually around August, that's when that stuff, new season come up. You know, so as we speak, soon as August hit, that's when 2025 season starts. So I'm trying to get this all done. And I'm not even counting the sick. I gotta get that sick done too. So it's just, whew, I'm busy. I'm busy body. So, like I said, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're looking out for that tier list soon, man. And like I tell y'all always, deuces.